Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Hey everyone, it is Happy Five Day. High Five Day.
High five.
High, I just
High five.
Oh, I'm sorry. You can't leave the high out of 420.
No.
It's a High Five Day. It's a 420. It is April 20th, 2023. Welcome to the latest episode of the Big Daily Blend podcast with Nancy and Lisa. We're excited. We have internet compared to what happened yesterday. We're here. We're here. We're very excited about it. And it is National High Five Day. Now, I love that it's on the same day as 420, right? So
Wow.
high five actually is something, yes, it is, high five, you scored, comes from like baseball, basketball, all that kind of stuff, right? Or, hey, you made the deal, you did, it's that high five. But don't you find it annoying to high five all the time? Like, in a way, is that I shouldn't be like that? It's
I
just
don't
like,
think people
high
do
five,
that
dude. It just kind
anymore.
of, well, maybe after COVID, you don't want to high five everybody.
Nobody does that anymore.
But it is like, dude, you scored. That's cool.
Yeah, I was slapped during a basketball
But there's some people
game.
who take the high five too far, maybe. That's what's annoying.
Well, it's repetitive.
I don't like repetition unless it's
But I think it
fun
started
repetition.
in basketball games.
basketball. Yep.
Yeah.
I think so. It did. And speaking of that, so music playlist. We've got a lot on the links in the show notes. So check that out, whether you're listening on Spotify or YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're listening. Acast, Podbean, like here, just everywhere that you can listen. BigBlendRadio.com is a good one. So we have our music playlist on YouTube and Spotify is all fixed. We're excited about that. When we recorded yesterday, we were like, come on, Spotify, what's going on? And now they're back. So everything's working in time for 420. But we do have Beck from his album Odelay, his 1996 album, which as of, they say on Wikipedia, according to them, as of July 2008, the album sold 2.3 million copies in the United States, making Odelay Beck's most successful album to date. Since the release, it has appeared in numerous publications and listed as one of the greatest of the 1990s and of all time. Well, Beck rocks. So he does have a song, High Five, on there, and he's got Where It's At. And so that's what we've got on the list today, Where It's At. Because I'm thinking of like, hey, that's where we are at life, right? Like where it's at, that's where it's at. And so when you think in sports, that's where it's at. That's where the ball is. Go get it. Also, speaking of sports, today in history, Danica Patrick became the Indy Japan 300. Oh, she won that, the Indy Japan 300. She didn't become it. She won it. She became the very first female driver in history to win an IndyCar race 2008. So, hey, it's where it's at. See?
I think that's pretty
Today is where it's
outstanding.
at day, right? Also on this day in history, think about baseball. It's the season, right? Baseball stadiums, Tiger Stadium in Detroit, Michigan, and Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts, opened on this day in 1912, both of them.
Wow.
That's exciting. Koozie the kitten has been meowing about that excitement. She likes it.
She does.
Also, the Chicago Cubs played their very first game at Weeghman Park. Currently, Wiggum. I don't know, but now it's Wrigley
Wiggum.
Field. I can say Wrigley Field. Defeating the Cincinnati Reds 7-6 in 11 innings. That was in 1916. So some baseball history. And that's where it's at.
That's where
It's
it's at.
where it's at. That's right, Koozie Kitten. Also, let's look at today being 420. Of course, we're going to have some good music like Peter Tosh, Legalize It. We have to have that on the playlist. We've got Roll Me Up with Willie Nelson. Not just him, though, with Snoop Dogg, Kris Kristofferson, and Jamey Johnson. Had to, sorry. It's
Roll me up
420.
and smoke me.
And it's all about, but this is partly, I think, how marijuana got legalized, even though it's federally not legalized. But many states are. Rolling Stone just did a really good weed map showing where it's recreational, where it's medicinal, where you're really going to get in trouble if you do smoke any weed. But check it out. Rolling Stone's got a cool map on there.
It's very confusing.
What, weed?
No, where it's legal and where
That's
it
why
isn't.
Rolling Stone did a good map.
I
And
mean,
they're the
just-
Rolling Stones.
Just make it legal.
Yep.
Stop
So
it.
it's all of this. And this is all because of William Hearst and the Hearst family not wanting people to produce hemp because he had other things he wanted to produce and he wanted to monopolize. Anyway, that's just a crazy theory.
He used to smoke his own clothes.
No, he didn't. He needed to. But it really started with California leading the way in 1996, making medical cannabis legal. Washington and Colorado legalized cannabis for recreational use in 2012. Feels like just yesterday. And now all these states are changing up and they have weed cafes coming up in D.C. I mean, all kinds of good stuff. I think D.C. needs some weed. I think they need some chill
need
out.
to calm down.
They've got like so much going on and
Yeah.
a bunch of people thinking they can run things and, just saying. Did I say that?
I don't know, did you?
I think I did.
think
Sorry. I shouldn't talk about politics and pot at the same time. Now, if you are celebrating 420 and having a good time, you may want some good food. The munchies can ensue. National Pineapple Upside Down Cake is today.
Yummy.
It's the day to celebrate the pineapple. You used to make that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy used to make that. But I don't remember cherries being on it, but apparently it is. It's pineapple and cherries, brown sugar.
And sometimes, if you really want to, leave the cherries out and put already cooked bacon on top.
Or
It's
rum.
Really
You used to
good.
put rum in there, I remember.
Yeah, I used to put rum in everything.
Yeah, well, apparently this is a springtime cake. I didn't ever think of it as spring. I just was like, it's a pineapple
because
cake.
that's when you get pineapples.
Oh, I didn't know that. And it's been going since the 1900s. And they used to make them in cast iron skillets. That's how it all started. So that's kind of interesting. Now, we do have a recipe for this, but it's not the pineapple cake. We just did it different. This is from Peggy Fiandaca. She's on our show every first Wednesday. Wine Time with Peggy. We talk about wine. But she has a great recipe for spicy grilled pineapple over vanilla bean ice cream. So I think that's a good
that
that's a
sounds
good
good too.
balance. If you got the munchies, I can guarantee you it's going to be good. It's going to hit all those profiles. And for music for that, we got Pineapple Skies by Miguel. It's from his 2017 album War and Leisure. And the first song actually debuted on Snoop Dogg's YouTube series Double G News Network, the GGN.
Oh.
Well, you got the Snoop on today.
You got the
you
Snoop.
got to have the Snoop, right? And after all, him and Martha Stewart made brownies together.
Hey,
This is the
somebody's
day
gotta
for
do it.
brownies. Yes, it is. It's also National Cheddar Fries Day. I'm just making sure everybody's, fulfilled
Getting
munchie-wise.
hungry.
Yep.
Get ready
So
for
they
it.
say, what better way to enjoy your fries than a really big dollop of cheddar cheese? I'm all in. You know what? Put chili on the fries, put cheese on the fries, put bacon on the fries with chili and the cheese. Just pile it on. Jalapenos.
All those healthy ingredients.
I don't care. If you got the munchies, you're going to devour this stuff. However, our recipe is not that. Our recipe is from Chef Jeremy Manley, who owns and runs Jeremy's on the Hill. It's a California-style bistro up in the mountains of San Diego in the town called Julian. You've got to go there. It's like cool local food.
It's high.
It's up there. It's a mile high. It is a mile, almost a mile high. Anyway, it's a happy town, and they have apple pie, which people do eat a lot of there. But he's got a recipe. He went over the border. Braised short ribs poutine. And I put this recipe out there because the poutine has got like cheese curds. So if you're in Wisconsin, Michigan, all that area, you know where to get those cheese curds. Even Walmart in Wisconsin has cheese curds. A whole cheese it's different. Like, that's interesting. So we don't like these big box stores. But when you go grocery shopping in Madison, Wisconsin, they have a cheese curd section.
Awesome.
Even in Walmart. That's pretty cool. So anyway, cheese curds and fries and braised short ribs. So now you're getting a big full-on munchie.
That's a lot of protein.
And a lot of cheese and a lot of French fries. And yesterday we shared his recipe for garlic fries, his world-famous garlic herbed fries, which are really good. So if you take those and you put some cheese curds, some braised,
Yum.
I'm just saying, poutine. We just want to say poutine.
All right, me some
Poutine. I don't know if you're supposed to say it that way, but it sounds fun. Also, so when we come to cheddar cheese, we thought, well, we got to play this song. It's from Kendall Street Company, Aged White Cheddar. How would you like to be known as some aged white cheddar? Maybe not. All right, so today is also National Lookalike Day. So we're talking doppelgangers.
Or twins.
Or twins. Oh, yeah. And then there's people like you and I look alike.
Yeah.
Sometimes people think I'm a grandma.
Yes, they do.
Not that you look like a grandma, but they think I'm the mother.
No, I look more like a kid.
Oh, there we go. Well, all right. There it is. But no, doppelgangers, that's kind of interesting. You have those, celebrity doubles too. Yeah. And sometimes they need them for stunts and stuff and TV and whatever. So anyway, we're going from aged white cheddar music to doppelganger music by Banana Phonetic. Banana Phonetic.
Banana.
Yeah, so that's in the playlist with the recipes and everything. It's also Get to Know Your Customers Day. I think this is very important. We talk about this on Big Blend Radio all the time about the importance of customer service, and it seems like it's going away. Then once in a while, you find someone who actually gives you good customer service, and it makes the world go around. It makes everyone a little happier. And I think post-pandemic, customer service has not been that way, and we've just had to deal with, please push this button.
But I don't
and
want
chat
a robot.
I don't want it either. And I want to be able to understand the person on the other end of the phone. That's, I think, important too.
Yes.
In customer service, that someone actually understands where you are, what you're doing, what you're going through.
And what you're saying.
Anyway, so this day is actually every third Thursday of each quarter. This is celebrated. Get to Know Your Customers Day. And it's January, April, July, and October.
Well, you can't know your customers if you ship everything overseas and then nobody can understand each other.
This is really to help small businesses. And small businesses, I think, get to understand their customers better than these gigantic stores.
Sure.
And big corporations who give you the chat box. And then here's 10 things of FAQs you have to go through that really don't answer your question.
No.
When you could actually talk to someone, which it creates a job, I'm just saying,
Right.
which is good for the economy. I mean, we do have a huge homeless problem in this country. Am I starting to rant again? I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
I think we should keep the jobs here.
I think I'm fine with people working internationally and globally, but
When they need to, yeah, but not always.
what's going on is not that cool. I think we all just want to have, if you purchase something, you want to talk to someone to feel good about your money going there. Mm-hmm. You want to know where your money's going, who is it supporting.
Exactly.
And if you have a question or something, you should get an answer. And it shouldn't always be somebody just trying to upsell you. That's another thing.
That's the other thing.
I'm sick of the upsell. I'm tired of it. No, I asked for a small Coke. No, would you like a giant? No, I asked for a small Coke. And now if I wanted a giant Coke, I would have ordered a giant Coke.
That's right.
But
Would you like a medium Coke after your small one?
Well, it is 4:20, so maybe we'll be all ordering giant plates of cheddar fries, white aged cheddar, poutine, you name it. We might be ordering all of that. Who knows? And maybe we do need a chat box so we can be silly to the chat box. I don't know. Anyway, so the song for the Get to Know Your Customers Day is Keep the Customer Satisfied by Simon and Garfunkel from their famous A Bridge Over Troubled Water album. And when you listen to this song again, I mean, this is an old classic, right? And I'm like, it sounds like it's a good song for 420. So just re-listen to it if you haven't heard it for a while.
It's a cool song.
It is. Also today is Volunteer Recognition Day, which I think is really huge because the world goes round with volunteers in so many ways, whether it's people volunteering to clean up the streets, pick up garbage, clean up the beach. It's a lot of that, right? Or citizen science is something that people don't realize is part of volunteering. But volunteering to get food to shelters. There's so many ways to volunteer, even just locally in your local Chamber of Commerce if they do an event for your community, right?
It's good to be part of it.
Right. And so we have a video link for John Schmidt, who this is a video from over 10 years ago when we first started our Love Your Parks tour. And it shows John Schmidt, who had retired from the military and became a volunteer for the Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument out in southwest New Mexico, talking about that while his wife was back out fighting at that point in the military. Also, we have an article about what makes a good volunteer by Sarah Elliston, author of How to Deal with Difficult People. Yeah, there's a lot of difficult people.
Really?
I might be one. Also, song-wise, Volunteers by Jefferson Airplane. We have to play that. Yep. That's on the playlist. And then going into civil rights history. Today in history, on 1871, the Civil Rights Act became law. The Civil Rights Act of 1871. Now, apparently that we did good stuff came from it, but not enough and not fast enough. On this day in history, in 1939, think about this, like over 60 years later, Billie Holiday recorded the very first civil rights song called Strange Fruit. Of course, that is in the music playlist today. Now, also on this day, our Park of the Day. It's not necessarily civil rights, but it is about rights for workers. On this day, 19 men, women, and children died in the Ludlow Massacre during a Colorado coal miners' strike that happened in 1914. We've been to the site, and that's going to be our Park of the Day today, which is sad to show, but these people went underground. The kids, the women went underground, and they still, I mean, it's terrible, and I don't want to bring everyone down with this kind of history, but we do have to acknowledge the history so we can make positive change. Really bad in history, still talking about Colorado. This is the anniversary of the Columbine High School shooting in Jefferson County, Colorado, that happened in 1999. And we look now at how many shootings have already happened this year. More shootings have happened than more days have gone by in this year, which is insane. And hopefully we can fix and change these issues. I really, really hope we do.
It's insane. It really
13
is.
people killed, 24 injured.
Take a moment to reflect on those people.
So in science, weird science, Louis Pasteur, and Claude Bernard completed the very first pasteurization test. That was in 1862. Pierre and Marie Curie refined radium chloride on this day in 1902. Okay, so this isn't the fun part of, science is about oil too, right? On this day in history, Deepwater Horizon, the drilling rig explosion killed 11 and caused a rig to sink, initiating a massive oil discharge in the Gulf of Mexico. This was in 2010. I remember us doing podcasts.
Right.
The National Wildlife Federation people came on, and at that time they were going out there in boats, bringing up animals covered in oil.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get better at that too through good science. On this day, speaking of some interesting science in space, Apollo 16 landed on the moon, commanded by John Young. This was in 1972. Think about that, man, watching someone land on the moon. So, thinking about how some of these positive things and exciting things happen, negative things happen, I wanted to place. And there was a race for space, right? And it's still kind of happening, this race for space. So I thought, it's 420, let's play Rat Race by Bob Marley and the Wailers.
All right.
Yeah, got to have that on the playlist, the music playlist today. All right, some positive stuff. All right, are we done with the negative and the sad?
So.
Yeah, sorry. I just don't want to hide it.
No, you can't hide it.
You don't want to hide history. On this day in history, 1926, Western Electric and Warner Brothers announced what's called the Vitaphone. It's a process to add sound to film. That's a big deal with what we have right now.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't have movies.
Exactly. It's a big deal. So they created that. Some birthdays and birth anniversaries we want to celebrate. If it's your birthday today on 420, high five to you.
Oh,
that was good.
What candles are you putting on your cake?
How many candles are you putting on your birthday? Okay. We wish you all a happy birthday today and hope you enjoy the rest of the week and weekend and month. It's your month. It's your birthday. Daniel Chester French, the sculptor of many public monuments, was born on this day in 1850. Harold Lloyd, the actor and comedian, was born on this day in 1893. Lionel Hampton, the musician, was born on this day in 1908. In fact, his quote is our quote. One of his quotes is one of our quote of the day. We've always put a quote of the day on Twitter at Big Blend Mag. Yes, we're still on Twitter. And on Facebook in our Big Blend community group. The quote is, "Gratitude is when memory is stored in the heart and not in the mind."
That's nice.
That is the perfect quote. I love that. Lionel Hampton he was born on April 20th, 1908, passed away August 31st, 2002. He's an American jazz vibraphonist, a pianist, however you want to say it, percussionist and band leader. He worked with jazz musicians like Teddy Wilson, Benny Goodman, Buddy Rich.
Yeah.
We had his daughter on the show, Buddy Rich's daughter, a few years back. Charlie Parker, Charles Mingus, Quincy Jones. And in 1992, he was inducted into the Alabama Jazz Hall of Fame. He was also awarded the National Medal of Arts in 1996. So we added his song Flying Home to our playlist today. It's a jazz and jump blues composition written by Lionel and Benny Goodman with lyrics by Sid Robin. So check that out. Happy birthday or birth anniversary to Lionel Hampton. Also a happy birth anniversary to Ernest Anthony Puente Jr. Everybody knows him as Tito Puente, the timbale player, also known as King of the Mambo. Ooh. He was born on this day in 1923. He is a musician, songwriter, band leader, and record producer. He comes from Puerto Rico, or he's of Puerto Rican descent. Best known for dance-oriented mambo and Latin jazz compositions. His career spanned over 50 years. His most famous song is Oyo Como Va. Now, Oyo Como Va is something that we all know from Santana, right?
Of course.
But of course, we're going to play the original. Just like Black Magic Woman, Santana made famous, really helped Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac played that first. Anyway, that's a whole other story. Peter Green and all that good stuff. But Tito Puente's Oyo Como Va is up on the playlist today. And his music has appeared in movies like The Mambo Kings, Fernando Trebe's Calle 54. He starred on TV shows like Sesame Street, The Simpsons. He's done all kinds of stuff. Tito Puente, we all know that name.
Yeah.
So we got to listen to his music today. It's because it's a birth anniversary. Johnny Tillotson, the singer, was Tillotson. Do you know who he is?
Sort of, yeah.
Well, it's his birthday today. 1970. Oh, excuse me, not 1970. I've got to scroll down here in my notes.
Do you have a song title there?
No, I don't. But 1939, he was born. Gosh. I can find one for you, Nancy. So,
yeah.
Now you know Ryan O'Neal was born on this day.
Okay.
You remember him, the actor?
Yes.
He was born on this day. But yeah, Johnny Tillotson, that's what you're saying?
Yeah.
I've got to say this right. Enjoyed his greatest success in the 1960s. He scored, according to Wikipedia, 9 top 10 hits of pop, country, and adult contemporary charts, including Poetry in Motion.
There we go. See?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Without You. It keeps right on a hurtin'. Oh, yeah, he's done a bunch.
A ton.
Yeah.
He's big.
Yeah, he is. All right, we'll add Poetry in Motion.
There we go.
How about that? We'll add that to the playlist. All right. I think I say this on shows all the time, and then I have to remember to do it. You know, it's 4:20. I can forget. I'm behaving. Jessica Lange, the actor, was born on this day. Yeah, cool. She's awesome. On 1949, that's a good year. Luther Vandross, the singer, was born on this day. 1951, passed away in 2005. Singer, songwriter, record producer, known for his soul. I mean, that voice is silky, soulful goodness. He sold over 40 million records worldwide. He achieved 11 platinum albums, 8 Grammy Awards. Including Best Male R&B Vocal Performance 4 different times. And in 2004, he won a total of 4 Grammy Awards, including the Grammy Award for Song of the Year that he recorded not long before his death, which is Dance With My Father. It's a beautiful song to play on Father's Day, but we've added it to the playlist since obviously this means something. Listen to the lyrics are very tender and personal. He worked with, he was a backing vocalist in the 70s, and he was on albums with people like Roberta Flack, Donny Hathaway, Todd Rundgren, Judy Collins, Chaka Khan, Bette Midler, Diana Ross, David Bowie, Benny King, Stevie Wonder, Donna Summer. He became a lead singer of the group Change, and they released its gold certified debut album, The Glow of Love, in 1980. And when he left the group, he was signed to Epic Records as a solo artist and released his debut solo album called Never Too Much, and that was in 1981. Some of his hit songs include Never Too Much, Here and Now, Any Love, Power of Love, Love Power, I Can Make It Better, and For You to Love. A lot of his songs were covers of other artists' music, like If This World Were Mine. He did a duet with Cheryl Lynn on that. Since I Lost My Baby, Superstar, I Who Have Nothing. We know that song.
Yeah.
Always and Forever. And he also did duets like The Closer I Get to You with Beyonce, Endless Love with Mariah Carey, and The Best Things in Life Are Free with Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
So anyway, Dance with My Father is on the playlist today. Shamar Moore, the actor, was born on this day in 1970, and Carmen Electra, the actor, she also did, Carmen Electra did some, like, hosting, too, of shows. But she was born on this day in 1973. And in closing today, we want to thank you for joining us. We hope you catch our interview today at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time with Lee Brovadani. She is known as the Trust Architect. She's also known as the Soul Journey Doula. So she helps people transition to the next stage of life, next lane. But she talks about building a legacy. She talks about, she does workshops on trust, and she talked about building a legacy. And, I think a lot of what we do on this Big Daily Blend show is honoring the legacy of people. Like, talking about Luther Vandross, all these people who won things, their achievements. Are they all perfect? Absolutely not. And we talk about that.
Nobody's perfect.
No one's perfect. How do you build a legacy of trust? How do you, build a legacy that when you're passed, people go, man, that person did this. I am inspired by them. You want to inspire people, right? Maybe that's not what you want to do.
Do the best you can.
Yeah. So she talks about that on today's interview. It's a very cool conversation. We talk about not being perfect, but still doing the right thing as much as we all can. And so when I saw the word legacy today, I thought, we got to play our friend Zakiya Hooker's album, something from there. Zakiya Hooker, John Lee Hooker's daughter, she's been on our show quite a few times. We got to meet her and her husband, Ollan Christopher Bell,
was so much fun.
or Chris James, however you want. He's amazing, amazing musician, producer.
But they're both so talented.
Both incredibly talented and super cool people. So we thought we'd play the song "One More Dance." When you think of someone's legacy, "One More Dance" is really cool, and they both are on this album, on this song. And so that's the closing song of today's show. So thank you all for joining us. We hope you have an awesome 420. Enjoy the rest of the day, the night, and we'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Big Daily Blend. Please keep up with us at bigblendradio.com.